Something that's relatively new on the career scene is this need to future-proof your career. What does that mean? Well, this is particularly important to you if you are looking to start out in your career or make a change in your career, because you don't want to put all that time, all that effort in, only to find that imminently your job is going to be replaced by a robot or an algorithm. And we're not exaggerating here. Research is telling us that by the year 2022, it's likely that around 40% of tasks currently undertaken in the workplace are going to be replaced by robots. Frightening, right? So what does it mean to future-proof your career? It's about developing these skills that are sustainable. So skills like empathy, communication, critical thinking, judgment, creativity. And these are the types of skills that will make you stand out to a future employer. Why? Because they can't be replaced by a robot. And we've put together a series of videos to help you develop some of these skills. It's called Get Corporate Ready in 14 Days. If you search for Loud Voice Digital on YouTube or click on the link below, it will take you straight to that channel. Now, we work a lot in the legal sector, and for this video, we've partnered with Justice. So we're here at their offices today to have a look at how this technology combines with some of those sustainable skills. And for those of you who don't know who Justice are, they're a technology company, and they house the largest collection of common law cases. And they provide a really helpful platform for lawyers to research cases and legislation. So why is this type of platform so important? Did you know that 1/3 of the world's population lives in what's called common law jurisdictions? Broadly speaking, within that, there's different levels of courts within each of those jurisdictions, and it's them that make the judgments and decisions that ultimately shape the law. Here in England, the top level is the Supreme Court, and that's the final court of appeal, and they review cases with the greatest public and constitutional importance. Now, an important factor in common law is the principle of precedent. Each level of the court is bound by the decisions of a court of higher standing. So those superior courts are able to overrule decisions of the lower courts, and sometimes they can overrule their own decisions as well. And this is what provides a precedent, which is a new principle or rule of law. And this approach is replicated in many other common law jurisdictions around the world. So each time a court makes a decision which modifies the law or settles an ambiguous decision, a precedent is set. And lawyers, well, they need to know these decisions because these precedents or past judgments form the basis for their own legal cases. Now, these are literally happening all the time. And these old legal books that people used to use were growing into bigger and bigger legal libraries. I mean, lawyers could literally disappear for hours and hours trying to find and evaluate all these previous cases. Now, to give you a sense of this, each year, over 10,000 cases are heard here in the UK higher courts alone. That is a lot of reading. So what's changed with the use of technology? Well, a lawyer's career used to involve kind of rummaging through vast libraries and volumes of case reports, indexes, digests, and while searching in a legal library, it still remains a valuable skill. That data is now online with systems like Justice. A future lawyer needs to know how to approach the task of legal research using technology, but also using those skills we mentioned earlier, such as critical evaluation, judgment, creativity. So these systems have volumes of common law cases combined with intelligent technology. So if your chosen career is law, where do you as a future-proof lawyer add value if it's not locked in the library? Well, it's back to those skills we mentioned at the start. How can you critically evaluate this information? So here's our top steps for effective legal research, which goes beyond just finding out information, beyond what AI or machines can do. So step 1, think about what you're being asked. When you're asked to research something, check and clarify the question. If you're uncertain, try rephrasing it and setting out some objectives. And then check these are on the mark before you set off. This seems really obvious, but it's not uncommon for someone to provide really excellent research into the wrong question. Secondly, is about identify and analyze. So list out the facts and the issues of the case you're researching for. Explore the relevant area of law, and then classify that into legal terms. thirdly is the stage of research. So that involves looking for relevant sources of information. Maybe you want to go and speak to the law library staff or start using some of these online services. Think about using citations, abbreviations, and style guides so that you can give people what it is they expect. And finally, construct a list of the sources that you've consulted. And on this one, there might actually not be an answer to the legal research question that you're exploring, particularly if it's a new area of law, maybe in technology or autonomous vehicles or something new. But you need to go through this process to be able to find that out, that there isn't an example. Fourth, evaluate the information. So thinking about, is this source credible? Is the source an expert or an authority? Have they been published in things like legal reviews? Then think, is the source objective, or are they trying to be persuasive or push an alternative agenda? Also check the date. Is this current? And don't rely on the dates that come up with the search engine. And then verify what's claimed. Try to find 2 or more reliable sources providing the same information. And fifth, finally, present the results. And we've created a specific video on structured communication which should help with how you present your information. But a few tips here are, think about organizing things logically with a good layout and structure. Remember, lawyers love good spelling and grammar, so make sure you get that right. Apply the law to the facts, so that application, and then provide clear advice or conclusion. Also, make sure you acknowledge the materials that you've cited and construct a list of the sources as well. So for those of you considering a career in law, it's a competitive but really rewarding career. Think about the skills that you can show off to stand out from the crowd. And being able to research and critically evaluate and apply that research is a real strength. Take a look at our other videos for some of those other skills to differentiate, or have a look on the Justice website to find out more about legal research tools. And guys, post any questions you have about this below, and remember to click like and subscribe. We've produced a series of videos which are designed to really transform your career.